All right, coach. Had the weekend off, had a bye week, able to regroup, get some rest and everything. Just want to get your thoughts now heading into big matchup seasons winding down against number two Boston University.
Yeah, it was certainly. I think we took full advantage of the bye week. Gave the kids a couple of days off, allowed some guys to get healthy, and we get to work on some things that we feel we can be better at for sure. And spent a lot of time focusing on the Terriers. I think they are, uh, you know, from top to bottom, pretty well built team with Karan and Net. I think their defensemen, Hudson's as dynamic a defenseman as we're going to find in the league. But they're very, very deep back there with Weber and the McCarthy brothers and Gallagher. Uh, and then up front, I think they have a great mix. Obviously, they're led by Macklin Celebrini, and he's having a terrific freshman year. But they have a lot of depth with Tuck and Peterson and Zabanet and Wilmer, and Green has really had a great sophomore season. So they're pretty deep all the way around. They'll be an extreme, very formidable opponent for us.
Awesome. All right, we'll open it up for questions. Joe, you can start us off.
Thanks. Cav, good morning. How are you?
I'm great, Joe. You?
I'm good, thanks. We missed you last Wednesday. Just didn't seem the same without talking.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I'm sure. During the week off, was there one thing that you worked on that you saw market improvement in?
There was I think there was a lot of things. I don't know if I would pinpoint one thing. We certainly worked on our power play. I think we worked on some defensive concepts. I thought that was starting to slip in our game. And then we worked on having a net presence, in the offensive zone.
What is it about Lane Hudson that makes him so dynamic? What skill set does he possess that maybe other kids don't?
Well, he's pretty smooth, effortless skater. He's not Cale Makar type skater, but he's very deceptive, and I think he can freeze defenders with just a little head fake, or he just rolls his shoulders and makes it look like he's passing and he's not, and he gets defenders to stop. And when that happens, then it opens up lanes for him, and he's very, very smart, where he knows when to pass. And what's an underrated part of his game is he gets pucks to the net, from the blue line. He can get it by that first layer of defense. And not only that, but it finds its way to the net.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Randy, we'll go over to you.
Thanks, Colin. Good morning, Cav. How are you?
Good morning, Randy. I'm great. Yourself?
Pretty good, thank you.
Good.
Beginning of the year, in one of these Zooms, I think you talked about the importance of getting shots about 18 inches off the ice, tippable, and rebounds all year. It seems like the chances have been there, and maybe it's been a bit unfortunate not able to finish. Is that something to do with where the shots are? Because you're in the house, you're getting opportunities. Do you need to, get those shots, back to that area of the ice?
I think our focus is to make sure we're hitting the net. I think that's always concerning when you're getting grade A opportunities and you don't put them on net. It's missing foul shots, right? It's missing 3-foot putts. You're not going to be, you're not going to perform at your best if you're doing those things are happening. So I think we really just have to focus on making sure that we're getting the puck to the net, and that we're getting traffic and we're getting bodies to the net. Very rarely are you all alone with the goaltender. A lot of goals, when you watch them in this league, they're scored off of rebounds, they're scored off of deflections. Odd man rush goals, they do happen, but the majority of the goals are happening off of scrum play and rebounds and point shots.
With kind of some of the, I guess results not going your way. I wonder who is like a leader in, obviously we know who the leaders of the team are. Is there one or two guys that, really keep the, the positivity up and the morale up when times are tough and kind of lift guys up in the face of adversity?
Yeah, I've said all along, like I've been, during it, when you're having a team that's maybe facing a little adversity, sometimes your seniors can get frustrated. And if that happens, you're in trouble. When your upperclassmen get frustrated and you have to just rely on your underclassmen to carry your team. That has not been the case here. We've been really fortunate, I think, with, our two grad leaders in Harrison Reese and Jake Flynn. Hudson Shandor's maybe one of the most positive kids I've ever coached in my career. And Andrew Lucas is also brings the energy, and John Spetz. They bring that energy every game. So, my upperclassmen are the guys who have been really good through this whole adversity.
And my final one is BU number 2, I guess, this week. When you have faced some of those top teams, Maine, BC on the road, Quinnipiac in the Connecticut Ice Tournament.
You want to throw Providence in there and UMass too? I mean,
yeah, I guess so.
I mean, every week it's another one. UNH.
Yeah. I'm thinking like the top 5 though. You've really elevated your game and had some really close battles with some of those top 5 teams. Is there, why do you attest to that?
Well, I just don't think it's unique to the top teams. I think we've played pretty consistent all year long. We have to find a way. Like I said, the only stat that matters to me is scoring more goals than the opponent. And, we've played very good defense all year long. We're a top 20 team in the country defensively. And we have to find a way to score more goals than the opponent. And that's something that we're really going to focus on going down the stretch. But I don't think we have to change a whole lot of how we've played. It's just staying with it, because when you do, and all of a sudden that little momentum, it switches, it can be, transformational for a team.
Thank you.
Sure.
Natalie, we'll go over to you.
Sure. Thanks, Colin. Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Good morning, Natalie. I'm great. You?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for your time this morning.
Sure.
I guess one of the first questions I want to ask about is at this point in the season to have, 3 regular season weekends left to just come off of a bye week. I mean, how valuable was this bye week for you at this point, whether health-wise, morale-wise, that kind of thing?
Yeah, that's a good question, because sometimes it's not always going like this time of year. You want to keep playing. That's why I always, when we had that, like the top 4 teams used to get a bye week after the regular season. That always wasn't great, because, you're playing really well. You want to just keep playing. This, to answer your question, came at the right time for us. We were a little banged up physically. We had a couple tough emotional losses, and I think it gave us time just to regroup, reset, and get healthy for this stretch run. So I thought it was beneficial for us. Now we'll see, but overall, certainly for our team health, I thought it was beneficial for us.
In terms of that, I guess internally, is the team operating at 100% health-wise?
Yeah, today. Yeah, we are today. Yep.
Wonderful. Someone in particular I wanted to ask about is Jake Percival. He's on track to having a better season than last year. Something that also stands is his defensive ability. He's great on the power or penalty kill, 4th on the blocked shots. How well-rounded is he truly as a player?
Yeah, he's a kid that came in, and that was kind of his calling card when he came here, was he was going to be he skates, he competes, and did a really good job kind of towards the end of last year killing penalties. Was snake bitten a little bit last year too, because I think there was 4 or 5 games in a row where he hit posts and pucks didn't go in for him. But he scored some goals this year. He's one of the top guys over the boards, killing penalties. He's getting a little power play time right now. And he's certainly a guy that we count on. He plays important, crucial minutes for us throughout games.
Is he a local kid, Avon?
He's from Avon, Connecticut. Yes.
Okay. I mean, what does it mean to have someone, local on your roster like that?
No, it's great. Like we've always said, we want to keep the best Connecticut players here. It's a state university, and I certainly don't want them driving by UConn to go play somewhere else in our league. So the more really good Connecticut players we can keep here, the better for us.
And the last one for me, Coach. Now Tyler Helton was a grad assistant of yours back in the day.
Yeah.
He has kind of found a way to relay your message through the years in different positions, different responsibilities. How valuable is it to have him on your staff, and how does he kind of drive the point home as your right-hand man?
It's extremely valuable because he's been here since day one. He was actually an undergraduate when he started with us, and certainly I trust him so much. He's been very loyal. It's been fun to watch him grow as a coach, from where he was as an undergrad to now as an associate head coach. And it's well deserved. He's really has a great grasp of, game planning. He's got a really good way with our players. I think he does a good job with skill development. And I think he has the makings of being a great head coach someday.
Great. Thank you so much.
Sure. You got it, Natalie.
Joe, we'll go over to you.
Hey, Cav, when we talk a lot about other college sports, we talk about freshmen hitting the wall. Have you seen that from Jake and Joey? And is it not as big a deal in college hockey because these kids play so many games before they get here?
I think there's probably some truth to that. They play 50, 60 games in the USHL, and they're only playing 30 here. Now, when they're playing in the USHL, a lot of times they're not going to school. So that's a factor that we have to throw in because that certainly takes up a lot of their time throughout the day. But I have not seen them hit the wall. This year, I haven't seen that happen often. Occasionally a kid maybe hot out of the gate and then go into a slump, as a freshman, but scoring wise. But as far as their play and their energy throughout games, I would say it's, that has not been an issue.
And from a grand viewpoint type of things, you've been in this league for a couple of years. Can you remember a year when there were this many great freshmen in the league? I mean, all the BC kids, Nados, your two guys, Celebrini, obviously. Can you remember this good of a freshman class in one year?
Probably not. I mean, not to the extent of, if you look at, Matt Wood's still 18 years old, right? So, I mean, between Matt Wood, Nadeau, Wielander, the 3 BC guys, that's 6 first-round draft picks. And then throw in Macklin Celebrini, who's probably going to be the first overall pick this year. That's 7 guys who are like first-round draft picks. It's pretty remarkable to me how strong, the league is. And not only how strong the league is and how the teams are, it's the high-end talent. There's always been an Eichel or a Makar or a Johnny Gaudreau, but to the level of where you're having, I mean, if you throw in, I'm trying to think who else, Gauthier, he's a first rounder. I'm probably missing a couple others. I don't know, but it's just pretty remarkable if you're having 8 to 10 first-round draft picks, you know, in one league. Like it's especially sprinkled over 2 years. So but that's what makes the league great. That's what makes it fun to play in. I think that's why we can attract so many recruits, because guys want to play with the best.